Hello and welcome back to the EF5 podcast, a crossroads between logistics and life. And today, I want to tackle something that we see every day here at the Atlanta airport, Hartsfield-Jackson more specifically, because there's only one airport in Atlanta. But anyways, that's the truck pass. So what exactly is the truck pass? You know, I hear that word a lot. I'm sure there's a lot of people that float around the airport. They probably hear that word a lot, especially when they're closer to some of the, warehouses and stuff like that next to the airport.
Right.
You know, what exactly is the truck pass?
First of all, it's not for every airline around.
Okay.
In short summary, Atlanta's known for its traffic, and so is the cargo portion.
Right.
There's congestion that has built up over a period of time.
Okay.
So that congestion, basically you have a limited amount of dock doors. And just like at 5 o'clock, everybody gets on the interstate and tries to go home at the same time. Well, same thing happens from a cargo perspective. Plane lands, cargo's ready, and then everybody funnels over to get the cargo.
Okay.
So at that point, you have the congestion that's building.
Okay.
And those cargo facilities are near where the runways are. So they're in sensitive areas from a security standpoint. So you have a buildup of trucks that are in a limited area to try to get the cargo out, and from there the truck pass was created to help from a security aspect and a congestion flow aspect.
Okay. Now, when it was created, did you have like any influence or anything? Because you did collaborate with some of the people that made it, right?
Correct. He's still there today. Elliot Page runs the cargo that flows in and out of Atlanta. He was on UN trade committees. Sorry, I'm probably not doing him justice. But he's been around the block, and he coordinates from the Atlanta perspective. He helps build trade lanes throughout the world.
Okay.
So he has an invested interest for the community from the air freight side, and that's where the truck pass is more related from the air cargo side, not the ocean, just to clear that up. So, through the process, they rolled out the idea and said, hey, we're going to create this truck pass. And so from the community, from the airlines to the people that run the facilities at the airport, to the handlers is what they're called. They're the guys who may unload the cargo off the plane, and sometimes they represent the airlines, sometimes they're independent companies.
Right.
And the freight forwarding business along with the trucking business all gathered together, and we, in a sense, created a committee, and I had a chance to be a part of that development of it.
Awesome. So you weren't just like a figure there. You actually had influence in the creation.
Exactly.
Right? Like your voice was actually heard. It wasn't just
correct.
You weren't there just for
and we got involved from our side of the business. We wanted to add value and whatever was how they were putting it together. We wanted to make sure they understood our perspective and how it best fit into everybody's perspective, so we could all serve and get cargo moving fluidly. And that's the core concept behind the truck pass, is to add more flow to the process if possible.
Do you feel like it does add more flow? Like, do you think it's done what the intention was supposed to be? Or?
Yes, it more or less kind of allowed awareness for everybody to understand the flow, because let me walk back for just a second. At the beginning, I mean, I've been doing this for 25 plus years now. Well, I don't know. I've been involved with it. We talked about this before, 30 plus years?
Something like that.
Anyways, for a long time. So we've seen the evolution grow.
Right.
So in the past, you would have, let's say the facility opens up at 8 o'clock and they close at 8 o'clock at night. So you have a 12-hour window. So everybody is kind of flowing through that window to try to get their cargo. And you would literally have, and unfortunately we still have some of these delays just by sheer volume, but you would have 6-8 hour delays. And on the surface, when you're in another state and you're trying to get your cargo out and it's quote unquote ready, it seems like, well, why is it taking so long? So on the surface, it felt like everybody was maybe utilizing the delays to their benefit, when the reality was it wasn't the case. It's not always the handler's issue or the trucker's issue of the delays. It's just sheer congestion of the volume.
Right.
So with the truck pass, what it did is you have to go to an off-site location that's near where we're at, and you funnel through, and there's actually a system built with sensors that are at the doors to allow everybody to understand who's in the door, how long they've been there, and you can't go over to the door until you go to the off-site location, check in, let them know what you're here for, and then they put you into the system that will automatically assign you a door if there's one available, or put you in a queue for next in line. So it balanced some of the flow of that, and it gave awareness to everybody, some of the delays, and it also kind of built data for everybody to see the peak times a little bit better. So it's helped for everybody to understand what we're all working with. And it has helped make it more fluid, because when there's congestion, then there's the dialogue that the truck pass operation communicates with the handler, saying, hey, what's going on over there? The truckers communicating with everybody. So it's built the communication to help the flow as best as it can.
Right. And I was going to say, too, that, like, the only way that it truly improves more is if dock doors just start spawning out of thin air.
Well, the future ideas behind it would we deal in an environment where we deal with third world countries that don't have the technology that we may have here in the States. And in some cases, our technology was built from years past. So
outdated,
upgrading
right?
that, trying to get the entire world, which we're networking off of, on that same platform, is a challenge. But the future goals will be that some of that can pass through seamlessly to help enhance the time. Example being, they have this structure, I believe it's in Amsterdam, and you literally can kind of, quote unquote, get into the queue prior to arriving, and then they pass along the information internally about your cargo, and they'll actually slot you a lane / dock door, and when you arrive at that location, your cargo will already be waiting for you in a sense.
Okay. Cool.
So there's plenty of enhancements that can go along with it that help kind of like push us in that direction.
Right. But in order to refine, you kind of have to know where the faults are, right?
Correct.
And like that comes over time. You don't just start it up and you go, okay, well, here's all our problems, right?
Well,
like there's some situations where you can see clear things where, like, okay, well, we should probably fix that, right?
Right.
But there's also things where, like you said, with the electronics and stuff like that and technology, sometimes we just aren't in the current, like, meta of technology that other countries are in. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, but it also means that there is a little bit of a learning curve in progression and, refining and stuff like that. So. And
with the air cargo side, there's a lot of different agencies that are involved for whatever the dynamics are behind the shipment. There's different regulations and requirements between customs, the FDA, agriculture. There's so many things that come into protecting both sides, where it came from and where it's coming to, that there's a lot of elements to get that on the electronic platform, so to speak, where it can transition. It's not as if you go into a local retail store and you buy something and then you go around back and you pick it up and there's not, it's just, hey, it's out back and I need you to drive around back. It's not that easy.
Right.
So, but overall, the truck pass has generally helped the operation flow. So it's a pretty unique situation. We're one of the only places, to my knowledge, I think there might be one more in the U.S., but I know we were the first one to go after it. Partially.
Well, I hope it's adopted more too, because it seems like you said, from the problems that you had before the truck pass versus after, it seems like the problems before were, outweighed now, by a lot.
Well, quick story is, if you go to a trade show, the way the trade show functions is a similar functionality that we're trying to build here. You have all those booths that are put in when you attend a trade show and you see it all, the finished product. But how did they get to the finished product? There's only so many bays they can get all those booths through and in. So a trade show it operates in that similar flow.
Right.
They have an off-site, what they call in that environment, it's a marshaling yard, and they send over when the next booth's ready to be received in and put in, and then they just funnel it in and out that way.
Gotcha. Well, something that you guys did with that was you definitely made it happen, right?
Yes.
Made it happen.
Yes.
And something that I'd like to see us do is make it happen here too. You do some cool stuff like that as we move on. You know, maybe even some like viewer submitted ideas. That'd be kind of
There you
cool.
go.
That'd be kind of cool,
There you
wouldn't
go.
it? See, maybe if they want us to like,
They got to make it happen, though.
yeah, they do the right thing and make it happen, right?
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah. So, you know, be sure to leave a comment. Be sure to like, subscribe. You know, when you subscribe, you get the notifications of these videos. Yeah, that's pretty much it. You got anything else you want to add on the truck pass? I
That's
learned
it.
a little bit today. I hope you learned a little bit today.
Hey.
Maybe not from that because you kind of knew it because you're telling me, but something else prior to this maybe. Hopefully you learned something.
I learn something every day.
It's good. It's good. You
Yes,
should.
sir.
You should always
Make
learn
it
something
happen.
new every day. So you look like you're ready to get up. You ready to get up?
I'm ready to be out.
All right, I'm out.
All right.